Today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in World Championship Russian Roulette. This is a card-driven game that I played for the first time this past Wednesday. It's kind of a large group bluffing game with a certain amount of risk. It reminds me a little bit of Skull, if you've ever played Skull, but with a few extra layers of decisions. I won't go into the theme here, but you can guess what the theme is about. I mean, it's essentially you are you are participating in a tournament where you have a team of people within your player. So you have these tiles that represent your team. It's a competitive game. You're not teaming up with other players, and you are loading up a gun with cards and shooting yourself in the head, which is kind of a gruesome theme if you think about it, but with no stakes, since we're playing with cards instead of an actual loaded gun, it actually turned out to be a lot of fun. So there are two things that I wanted to mention today. One is that I think it's really cool that this game allows for so many simultaneous decisions. So players, but still have lots of player interaction within those decisions. So there are a bunch of different phases that you follow each round in this game, and each phase is completely simultaneous. So there's one phase where you're essentially removing one bullet from your gun, or you're kind of stacking the bullets that will go into your gun. Normally you have 7 cards in your deck. 6 say click, 1 says bang. Obviously the bang will kill one of your team members if you draw that card. And so during this first phase, simultaneously players can choose to remove one of those cards from their deck, and they must remove one card. It could be the bang card. They could try to cheat and remove that bang card, or they could remove a click card. Then players spin, so they all shuffle their decks at the same time. Then players simultaneously bid. So you take a die that's numbered 0 through 5, and you put it down in front of you to show one of those numbers. And that shows how many cards you're going to draw from your deck in one of the later phases. So if I say, I think I can draw 3 cards without drawing a bang, I might use a 3 on my die. I might put a 3 down. Then you have a challenge phase. So simultaneously, players can accuse each other of cheating, of putting that bang card under their player mat, removing that from their gun. So players can simultaneously do that. And then simultaneously, players draw cards from their deck. So that's the phase where you're shooting yourself or pushing the button on the gun, which is the trigger on the gun. You can tell I'm not a gun person. And so when you do that simultaneously, everyone who isn't dead at that point, I'm using air quotes more than ever before in a video today, because I guess I just don't like this subject all that much. But so you're drawing the top card of your deck, and if it says bang, then your team member is dead. If it says click, then you get to stay in the round until the point that you reach your bid. So if I bid 3, I'm going to draw. Hopefully, I'll draw 3 clicks, and then I'll stop clicking the trigger. And during this phase, players have these bonus cards. You can play these cards during other phases too, but a lot of the interaction happens during this phase where players can play these bonus cards that change things, that says things like look through the top cards of your deck and rearrange them, or force someone to draw an extra card, or to change their bid, or to shoot the gun in the air, or shoot the gun at someone else. All these direct interactions that come up through these cards, so you can't foresee what other players are going to play. Anyway, I've gone on a little bit too long about this. I like that there's so many simultaneous decisions. You're not waiting for players to do things. It's simultaneous. It's all happening at once. The other thing I wanted to mention really quick is that when I play these games, sometimes I like to throw a little chaos into them, and I like that this game enables that chaos. For example, when I played, there were a few times during the game where instead of bidding with the die, I rolled the die. And I liked that the game creators included a die for the bidding decision. It was as if they anticipated that some players would want to throw a little chaos into the game. Makes it very easy to roll a die and see what comes up and just try to hit that number. That also makes it difficult for other players to guess if you are bluffing or not, if you have hidden that bang card under your player mat. The other element is this little deck of cards that you're shuffling up. And so you can, instead of intentionally removing a card from that deck, you could just shuffle it up randomly pull one out, blindly pull one out, not even look at it, and tell the other players, hey guys, I don't even know what I pulled out. I could have pulled out the bang, I could have not. I've done this with Skull as well. I like to throw a little chaos in there. So this is kind of a bit of a personal preference, but I like when games like this enable a little bit of chaos if there are players who enjoy that level of chaos. I wouldn't want to do this in like a heavy Euro game, but in a light, large player game like this, I like a little chaos at times. So I like that the game enables that. If you've played World Championship Russian Roulette and want to mention your favorite mechanism in the comments, I'd love to hear it. If you have any comments about chaos or about simultaneous play, games that allow for that, I'd love to hear about that as well. Thanks.